Good morning, students. I am joined this week by Smokey the Bear. Do you see him? He missed you guys too. Big Smokey and Little Smokey. Thank you, Gavin Smith. I don't know where his hat is. If any of you guys find a Smokey hat, I would be glad to pay whatever it costs. So, you know bears, bees. So we have a bee sitting on his head. All right, so he doesn't look quite so strange, or at least strange in a different way. So today we're going to be doing math. Today is day 1, April 6th of week 3. And our math assignment is going to still be in chapter 18, and we're doing pages 401 and 402. So if you don't have that ready yet, go ahead and pause, grab your math packet, chapter 18, 401 and 402. And then come back on and we'll get started. All right, so here we go. This one's a little tricky. We're going to really go through it together, not that we have it, but it is estimating. We've done that before with tens, but now we're going to be doing it with hundreds. So let's take a look. I'm going to move you guys probably a little closer. Less is Smokey, more of the math page. Okay? All righty. So let's take a look up here. It says, you can estimate to check if answers make sense. There are some times in your life you just might want an estimate before you figure out the exact answer. So we're going to the nearest 100. So in this case, it's going to be between 200 and 300. Remember, the magic middle number is a 5. Well, if we're talking hundreds, we're talking 50. So that's the middle. Anything from 200 to 249 is going to round down to the 200. Anything from 250 to 300 will round up to the 300. So they want us to estimate 236 plus 285, okay? Well, they're saying 236, 36 is less than 50, so it rounds down to 200. 285, look at the tens place on. 85 is greater than 50. 85 is actually like right there. So that's why 285 rounded up to 300. You just look at that and you know, oh, 300 plus 200, that makes 500. How close were we to the exact answer? 521. So pretty close. It makes sense. So let's go ahead and we're going to move on. Here is your number line. You notice that you have a 200, a 300, and a 400. So we're getting into the big time here. So let's find the midpoint, 250, right? So anything from 200 to 249 is going to round down. Anything from 250 to 300 is going to round up, okay? Same with anything, I'll go up here. Here's the midpoint, right? Anything from 300 to 349 is going to round down. Anything from 350 to 400 is going to round up. So our answers will be hundreds. They'll be 400, 300, or 200, okay? So let's go straight over here. Take a look at 380. We know it is more than 300. Is 80 greater than 50? Yes, it is. So that one rounds up to 400. 380 is actually right there, much closer to 400 than it is all the way over there to 300. But take a look at 308. That's just 8. 8 is definitely less than 50. So that rounds down to 300. We know that at a quick glance, we've got 700. Now your job is going to be to work this problem yourself, okay? So if you need to circle the page number 401, do so. But do that yourself. Does it mean you're going to skip it? No, it means you're going to work it out. Let's just do one together, see how close we went. 0 plus 8 is 8. 8 plus 0 is still 8. 3 plus 3 is 6. 688 is not that far from 700, so that makes sense. Okay, let's look at 232. We know that 200 is between a 200 and a 300. 32. Is that greater than 50? No, it's less than 50. So that would be 200. Not a bad idea for you guys to write this up here too, just to make it a faster reference for you, okay? 291, that would be between 200 and 300. 91 is definitely greater, it's right over here, greater than 50, so that rounds up. 200 plus 300, we could do that in our head, 500. Now let's go ahead and do this one. 2 plus 1 is 3, 9, 10, 11, 12. Put your 2, carry your 1, 2, 4, 5. 523 is not that far from 500, right? Okay, good. Well, let's go into the next page. They've given you a number line, but this time we've got 100, 200, 300. Why don't you guys circle that? Maybe you can draw a little arrow. Mine's calibration's a little off. At the 50 mark. The 150, 250. Anything from 150 to 200 rounds up. Anything from 149 down to 100 rounds down. Anything from 200 to 249. Oops. 249 rounds up, rounds down, and anything from 250 to 300 rounds up, okay? Let's try this. Okay, 206 is more than 200, less than 300. 6 is less than 50, so it rounds down. 230 is between 200 and 300. 30 is right there. It's less than 50, so it rounds down. What is 200 plus 200? 2 plus 2 is 4, so 400. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and solve that problem yourself when you get a chance. Okay, 173 is between 100, 200. 73, is that greater than 50? Yes, it is. So that rounds to 200. 218, you could circle the 18 like I'm doing. That's between 200 and 300. 18 is definitely less than 50, so it rounds down. So you've got 2 plus 2, 4, 400. Okay, so solve that one. Find out the exact number on your own, okay? So let's take a look at 194. Now I could keep going up and down, but you have your number line right there in front of you, so I probably won't. So it's between 100 and 200. Is 94 greater than 50? Quite a bit, right? So it rounds up to the next 100. After 100 comes 200, okay? 285 is between the 100 that you see, the 2, and the next greater would be 3. 85, is that greater than 50? It is, so it would be closer to the next 100. 2 plus 3 is 5. We've got 500. And solve that on your own, okay? Okay, 126 is between 100 and 200. 26 less than 50, correct? So it rounds down. It's closer to 100. 267 is between 200 and 300. 67, less than 50, greater than 50. 60 is greater than 50, so it rounds up to the next 100. 100 plus 300, 400. Don't forget to solve the problem. All right, 209, that's 9, not 90, so 9 is much less than 50, so it is closest to the 200. 168, is it closer to 100 or 200? Is 68 greater than 50? You're right, it is. So that rounds up, giving us 400. Don't forget to solve that problem, okay? 160, that would be between 100 and 200. You look at the tens place, you take all that into account. 60 is greater than 50, so it rounds up to 200. 123, let's circle the tens place and on. 20, is that greater than 50 or less than 50? It's less than 50, so it rounds down to the 100. You add that up, and you do that to find the exact number yourself, okay? Okay, so 295 is between 200 and 300, the next one. 94 is definitely greater than 50, so it would round up to 300. 235 is between 200 and 300. 35, where does that fall? Less than 50, so it rounds down. So there you have your answer for the estimate. There you'll solve for the exact answer. All right, so 141 is between 100 and 200. 41, less than 50? Yes, so that would be rounded off to 100, to the nearest 100. 193 is between 100 and 200. Circle the tens on. 93, that's definitely greater than 50, so that would be closest to the 200. So what do you have? You've got 300. Go ahead and solve that yourself. If you want to finish right now, let's keep going. If you want to pause and finish and then come back, that's up to you. Okay, let's read this. Amy chose 2 of these numbers. We want 2 of them to add together. We're going to add them. She estimated the sum to be about 300. Write 2 numbers that she might have chosen. Okay, the best thing to do is let's go ahead and round these off to the nearest 100. So, is 127 closer to 100 or 200? Look at the 27. It's less than 50, so that rounds down to 100. I can't even see that one. 106, it looks like. 106. Does that round down to 100 or up to 200? Well, 6 is less than 50, so there's another 100. 231. Does that round down to 200 or up to 300? 31, less than 50, rounds down. 182 is between 100 and 200. Oh, Smokey lost his B. And 82 is greater than 50. Ooh, that's a terrible 200. So there you have it. 218 is between 200 and 300. 18 is less than 50, so it rounds down. Okay, so that looks like a mess. So I'm going to erase 127 rounds to 100, right? Rounds to 100. Okay, 231 rounds, it's not happy with me, rounds to 200. 182 rounded up to 200, 218 rounded down to 200, and 106 rounded down to 100. So that looks a little bit better. Now we want to find two of these numbers that could add up to 300. You're going to write the number in the bubble, but we're going to look at the estimate. Is 2 plus 2 3? No. Is 2 plus 1 3? Yeah. So you could write 127, 127, and 231. Or you can write 182 plus 127. Or you can write 231 plus 106. Just what you have to do is you have to find where the estimate was 200 plus 100. So find a 200. I'll pick 231. You could pick a different one. I'll find a 100. I'll pick 106. I'm not sure if that's a 6 or a 9, so you could see it better. I think it's a 6. So you could choose those two or any other two, okay? All right, so that is going to end our math lesson for today, for week 3, day 1. Okay, I